Right then. All right, so I'm doing this experiment um, with the driveway sealer. Yeah. So I got the air compressor going. I've already done up the creek valley. You can see there, the dark spot. I went first with a leaf blower, got all the pine needles, all the shit off, and now I'm doing the spraying. I'm just gonna hope this stuff acts like a glue. You're supposed to spray it on the concrete and it provides a clear seal over the top of the concrete to prevent stains and stuff from getting in, oil, things like that. So that means it dries pretty hard and it dries clear. It says you can drive on it in 4 hours. Well, we got some heavy storms coming in late tonight into tomorrow. So I thought, damn, it's 88 degrees out here right now. This stuff's gonna dry fast. Let's get this done. I haven't even had dinner yet. Had a long day. Let's get this stuff down so that it cures and sets up. And if we get a heavy downpour during these storms, I'll get to see if it washes out the driveway. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now. I'll back you up so you can see what I'm doing. Yes, I'm wearing lounge pants because I'm actually doing some laundry. Doing my Mary Poppins thing here. I need a servant. Yeah. Stuff is going a lot farther than the other stuff. The other was only half a gallon. I got a whole gallon for 12 bucks. I'm using it in this old gravity or a siphon spray gun, and I got it maxed out as much as it'll pump, both air and liquid. And it looks like milk, and it sprays pretty good, but I'm gobbling through it. But I've already covered that whole dry creek bed there. Plus now I'm gonna do the apron and a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna run until I'm out of material. Yeah. again, this is straight up an experiment. Don't know if it's gonna work. Don't know how it's gonna hold. I know the other stuff, after it dried, it took 24 to 48 hours to dry. When you walked on it, you could feel that the stones weren't shifting under your feet. So it's literally like a glue. I'm gonna hope this stuff behaves the same way. I guess we'll find out, right? But I'm gonna do, I just did over here by the garage, as you can see, and I'm gonna run a line all the way across over to the garden over there on this lower apron, and hopefully that locks it up. don't know, we'll see. I went through a whole gallon. Cleanup is water until it dries, and then you'll need a chemical solvent or manual manipulation to get it clean. So that's pretty much the problem spots. So I guess it's just a matter of wait and see. We get that big deluge that's supposedly coming, and we'll see what it does. Yeah. All right. Suppose I can talk about other things for a little while. Just an update. My dad this morning sent me a long-winded text talking about some things. Yeah. The first thing he was inquiring about was how should he pray for the sale of my camp and my trailer to expedite that. And I said, well, I haven't replied yet, but I said in my head, I'm like, well, you already must be doing a pretty good job, because Frank came at me about buying the trailer and a while back. He hasn't heard from him since. And that other guy came at me about camp. So something's working. God knows what I'm struggling with, right? Yep. So he will throw another miracle at me. Good karma. I got faith, right? So that was his opening statement. Then he said, you really need to start going to that church up there by you. It's not good to be alone. You need to surround yourself with a support net. I started going to a new church down here, and I couldn't be more happier, or something along those lines. I'm not alone. I have friends. If I wanted to call Ian, for example, Squatch, and say, hey, bud, why don't you come to the lake house, hang out for a while, have a couple of frosty ones, do some fishing, grill out, whatever, he'd probably show up. I got Kate and Rob. I got friends. I've got people here in the neighborhood that I've made friends with now. I'm not a total, way back in the Alaskan bush, backwoods hermit recluse that doesn't know anybody. Sees the airplane pilot every month when he drops off supplies. That's not me. I have lots of friends, and they will show up if needed. I actually like my solitude, and yeah. Every now and then, the smoke is sweet. I like it. This is that vapor. I've been pounding the living daylights out of it. Anyway, so he's just pushing for me to go to that church. I also have Mia. Now, after my dad sent that message, I did contact Mia and say, so where do we stand? Am I truly alone? I started playing some mind games, some psychology. Well, she skirted the issue. She didn't commit. She didn't come right out and say, yeah, I'm your girl. Anything like that. She talked in riddles. put it that way. Yeah. But she said, if I wasn't greatly involved in your world, I wouldn't be talking to you every day, repeatedly, and I wouldn't be offering to help you do things at the lake house. So, part of what my dad said was, he's not selling the house in Florida to downsize like he was gonna. He's just liquidating a lot of the, he's downsizing the stuff. Yeah. He's having a professional paint crew come in and paint the whole inside of the house. So that means he's obviously, I think, staying. He also said that since he's so busy with that and other things, he wouldn't be able to come up and visit until the end of August, early September. I didn't even know he was planning on coming up. I put out the suggestion in the spring, and he never committed to nothing. And now he's getting back to me and saying end of August, early part of September. So then I turned right around and went back to Mia, and I said, well, if you're going to be my girl again, and you're going to be involved in my world, and you're going to be here at the lake house, we now have a new sense of urgency to get the guest bedroom done, remodeled, and furnished, so that my dad has a place to stay. If you're here, you're going to be sleeping in the master bedroom, I'll be sleeping down here in the therapy chair, and Dad will be sleeping in the guest bedroom. She's like, don't worry, we'll get that all done, squared away. And I'm thinking to myself, with whose money? Right? I'm fast becoming a broke loser again. So, I don't know how she plans on making that happen. We'll see what miracles she pulls out from between the big, beautiful mountains. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, it was an interesting text message from him. I didn't reply because I was driving. But after dinner here, I'll sit down and formulate a response. You know, today I had one call in a town in the UP called Gladstone, Michigan. 3-hour, 15-minute drive one way. It's that customer that has that high-end Italian double oven. Once again, it's acting up. It's not baking consistently. It's not holding its temperature. It's a shit show. So I drove all the way there, listened to her story. She actually took the time to type it all out on paper and print it off. She did a case study on the behaviors of the thing. So I had that information at my fingertips, which was nice. I then called Factory Tech Line. Steve Agamo. He apparently works out of his truck, or lives in his truck. Hold on, I'm at the post office. I gotta run in and drop off a bill. I'm like, you're not sitting in a call center right now with a headset on and a computer in front of you so you can professionally help me? No, I work on the road like this. This is, yeah. I'm like, oh, here we go. I talked to him last time. Same shit. What a clown. But anyway, we ended up, I put new thermostats in this thing. Yeah. Oven control devices. And he's like, well, if you took them out of the box and just installed them and you didn't calibrate them, they probably need to be calibrated. So let's go through that. So we calibrated each oven. I got it as close to perfect as I could. When you set the knob on the front of the oven, to 350 for bake. The element should come on to get you up to 350, and then it'll overrun about 5 to 10 degrees and it should shut off. And then as the temperature drops in the oven box to like 245, it should kick on again. And that swing should happen on, off to hold that 350 degrees. Well, I had to adjust this little potentiometer screw until it clicked on at 245 and clicked off at about 315 or 355. Yeah, I had to do both ovens. That took a while. Plus I had to do it, it's an electric oven, so I had to do it hot, energized. I got 240 volts going to these switches, and I'm in there with a little metal screwdriver making adjustments. Yeah, seat of your pants kind of stuff there. Cat's having a good time. She's playing with her mouse. She got her dollop of goose, so she's good to go. Now you did it. Oh, you got it. A little hellion. Anyway, so yeah, that took a while. And then I had a 3 1/4 hour drive home. So yeah, punched out at 5:30, punched in at 7:30. Yeah, I'll get paid big money to drive. Sure. All right. Mia is starting to see things my way. Remember how I always said, well, maybe you haven't heard me say it, one of my famous sayings that I coined, eventually everybody sees things my way. The Amish Mafia is exploiting and taking advantage of her, and she finally sees it my way. So what happened is she sat at the job site of this house that they're refurbishing, that's gutted. She sat there all day long. They wouldn't let her sit in the van and let the van run for air conditioning, right? Burning up fuel. Plus it's hard on the vehicle to idle in the heat like that. So she's in the house. They bought one new air conditioner and installed it in a window in the living room area. She sat in that living room area all day long with little Bitters. She sent me a picture. Little Bitters is laying on the floor, on the hard, dirty floor, sprawled out on her belly, trying to stay cool. It was over 100 degrees and humid, like 80% humidity. Mia hates the heat. Little Bitters is 15 years old. Mia said, I'm surprised it didn't kill her. So that happened. So then at the end of the day, like around 4 something, well, it would have been 5 something her time, she's an hour ahead of me. She messages me and says, we're heading back to the hotel, but I have to quick freshen up. And then I'm going back out again. The ladies need to go to a laundromat to do their laundry, and then we're all going out to dinner. She was pissed. She's like, I didn't know I was in servitude from the sun up to sundown and beyond. And whenever these people get a wild hair up their ass that they need to go do something, I'm the guy that has to. I said, I told you. Yeah. Yep. You're working 12, 14-hour days at their beck and call for $50 a day. Yeah. Sound like a good idea? She's not happy. And she stood up to the boss about that. Because he sprung it on her at the last minute. He sprung it on her on the ride back to the hotel. She thought her day was done. She'd get to take a nice shower. She's been given Bitters every time they get to the hotel room. She's been rinsing Bitters down with cool water because the poor dog is just suffering. Try to cool her down, get her core body temperature back down. She thought she was done. And on the way back, oh, by the way, the ladies need to go to a laundromat to do laundry, so that takes a while. And then after that, we need you to take us all out to a restaurant so we can have dinner. Now, when they're out and about, they don't eat good food. They eat junk food. Yep. They go to Burger King. They go to McDonald's. They go to Chick-fil-A. They go to the fast food subjoints, stuff like that. They're not eating good, wholesome meals. They're eating junk food, which explains why the boss man is shaped like a potato, pushing 300 and some pounds. Not only that, there was apparently some bamboo or something that was growing on this property. It grows down there in those subtropical environments. And they cut it down, and Mia wanted to take some of the bamboo home with her to use for craft projects. One, she wanted to make a set of wind chimes. She had grand intentions. She wanted to make a set of wind chimes out of the bamboo stalks. I've seen those before. They sound kind of interesting. And then give them, the wind chimes, to the Amish Mafia to hang at the new house in Florida as a gift, as a housewarming gift, repurposing something old to make it something new. You know what I mean? Yeah, her heart was in the right place. She was told, oh, that's not necessary. Not only that, these bamboo stalks are like 12, 15 feet tall. She wanted to cut them up into pieces that were more manageable to put in the van to haul home when they come back home. She asked if she could borrow the Sawzall, the reciprocating saw, to cut the bamboo into smaller chunks. He said, what do you want to do that for? And Sawzall is not what you need. You need the circular saw, the skill saw. I was like, this freaking mental midget, he doesn't even know the proper use of tools. If she goes at the freaking bamboo stalks with a circular saw, it's going to shred them, number one. It's going to kick them out of her hands, number two. It's dangerous. Yeah. The Sawzall was the right idea. You just use a fine-tooth blade, like a metal cutting blade that has a lot of teeth per inch. It'll cut through that like butter. She could hold the stick of bamboo in her left hand, run the saw with her right hand, and it would go and it'd cut right through it like butter. I went off. I'm like, this frickin' mental midget, glittering jewel of incompetence, doesn't even know how to use power tools. So she didn't get to cut up her bamboo. She said, well, fine, I'll go to Lowe's then. When we go to Lowe's to get windows and stuff, I'll buy a circular saw. I go, no, you won't. Insist on using the Sawzall. Do it like I told you, and show them how it's done. Frickin' clowns can't build their way out of a wet paper bag. So she's not happy. She jacked him up on the way home after he sprung the laundry trip on her and the dinner. She just wanted to sit in her room. She said the other night when they all went out to some fast food joint, she says, no, I'll pass. And she stayed in her room afterwards, after she sat there while they ate their junk food. And then when she got back to her room, she ordered Longhorn Steakhouse or something, DoorDash. Had a steak, mashed potatoes, vegetable, a wholesome meal. Yep. So she'll probably end up doing the same thing tonight. We'll find out when she calls me. Yeah. Unreal. So she told him straight up, maybe you ought to think about the next time you want to come down to Florida, finding another driver. because it's not working out for her. Yep. And she also said she's thinking long and hard about just totally giving the whole thing up. She said the little extra money is nice for buying things, but it's starting to not become worth it. I said, well, yeah, especially since other drivers that are doing that job for other clans are making upwards of $200 a day, and she's only making $50. I said, if you were making $200 a day, you'd be making more money than I do. You'd be doing great. She's not happy. We'll see what happens, but she's a yes sir, I'm there for you, sir, kind of person. Servitude. So, I don't know. All right, time to get some food in me. I'm going to go out and put the air compressor away. I rolled out of here this morning and left my shop garage door wide open. Forgot to close it. Come rolling in, 5 something, going on 6. There's the door, wide the F open. Wow. I live in a great neighborhood. Nothing was touched. Nothing was messed with. All is well. So, all right, time to eat. It's too hot to sit on the screen porch, even with the fan on. Yeah, temperature's dropping. It's down to 80, 59% humidity. It's actually more humid in here than it is out there. 63% in here, but a comfortable 70 degrees. So, we'll see. Once that sun goes down a little further, it might be more comfortable out there. Sit out there and smoke a pipe, listen to some jazz. That's how I like to end my day. Looking out over the lake, got some smooth jazz on the radio playing, a pipe, maybe a cold drink. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, a hot trophy wife. And that's where I'll stop. I digress. Talk to you soon.